How many of you have passwords that look like this, or even this? Hi, I'm Daniel McClarty. I'm currently enrolled in the cybersecurity program at AB Tech in Nashville, North Carolina, and if there's one thing that I have learned in my study so far, it is that the number one thing people get wrong about the internet, even to this day, is password security. You don't want your bank account or Instagram hacked because your passwords looked like any of those passwords, do you? Making a secure password does not need to be hard if you can follow these three key points. Make them long, random, and hold them in a trustworthy password manager. Let's start by looking at why length is the foundation of password strength. This comic from XKCD, a long-running webcomic covering a wide range of internet issues, helpfully distills why length is so important to a password security. Comparing the two passwords, the bottom one has much more entropy, a measure of the difficulty to guess, than the top one. Though interestingly, the bottom one, correct horse battery staple, is much easier for a human to remember. That is an example of a password made with something called diceware, which is actually a great way to make long passwords. It normally involves finding a free diceware list online, then rolling 6 dice per word and doing that 4 to 6 times to make a very long but easy to remember password. The longer the password, the more entropy, the more security. Though I do want to add, correct horse battery staple is not a secure password anymore because it is no longer random. We have already skimmed over how to make a password random, but why is that important, you may ask? Well, because of two words, dictionary attacks. According to an article on Palo Alto Network's Cyberpedia, a resource hosted by the leading cybersecurity company, a dictionary attack is a type of brute force attack that uses existing databases of common or simple passwords, even long ones, to gain access to new accounts much quicker. Or in English, people tend to reuse passwords or fail to be creative when coming up with passwords. If you want to know if one of your passwords has been seen in a data breach, you can use a free online service called Have I Been Pwned at haveibeenpwned.com to check. If the answer is yes, change that password to something random, maybe even using the diceware method I spoke of earlier. Also remember that it is critical that every password be different, because you can have a very long and random password, but if you use it for every site from banking to some Neopets forum from 2005, you can't guarantee that it will eventually end up in one of those password dictionaries. Now, I bet you're probably thinking I would never be able to keep up with so many long and random passwords, and you're probably right, but that is exactly where a reputable password manager comes in. In simple terms, a password manager is a tool you get as an app or browser add-on that stores the passwords for you, and many can even auto-generate and autofill these passwords. According to the UK National Cybersecurity Centre, a government organization in the UK dedicated to increasing internet security, password managers can be on-device or third-party. Though one thing to keep in mind is that an on-device password manager, like the one built into Google Chrome, is only as safe as your device, whereas a third-party password manager is secured by its own master password. I personally recommend the third-party route, since then you only have to remember the master password, meaning you must only make one long and random password, then you can let the password manager create the others for all your accounts. I personally recommend and use a free one called Bitwarden. You can find it on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store or as an extension on all major browsers. It is free to get started, can sync across all of your devices, can auto-generate long and random passwords, and can autofill passwords both in browser and even in apps on your phone. Just make sure that you create a very secure password for Bitwarden since it holds every other password. Now that we have gone over the three key aspects of password security, all that's left to do is to recap. Keeping your passwords secure really is as easy as keeping them long, random, and held in a trustworthy password manager. If you can keep those three concepts in mind, or better yet, let a trustworthy password manager handle the long and the random, you will be ahead of most internet users at keeping your passwords, and therefore your accounts safe. So, which of your accounts are you going to secure first? And these are my sources. Any questions? Leave them in the comments if you do. Happy to answer them. I hope you all have an amazing day.